Hello. So welcome to the fourth recording in our Linux Sys-Admin, and today we will be picking up from where we left. The last session we had looked at how to we saw how to search stuff using the grep or the find or the locate. We also saw how to install packages using apt-get or apt or even yum or RPM, dpkg, whatever. We also saw how to archive files using the tar. We saw how to either use the normal tar archive or the tar gunzip or even the bzip method, and also how to extract the content of the archive. Now, for this session, we'll start with SSH. Then we will also look at file transfers using SCPs, disk utilization, then directory navigation. So quickly, SSH. And to launch that, this is one method. Now, I'm connecting to my MacBook, the user hacker. So SSH, then the username at the IP. I can either do this or I can just put SSH IP, then put in the username and password when I'm prompted for it. I can also SSH to a specific port. If I know SSH is not listening on port 22, maybe on port 30 something, I can put -p or tag p and go to the port. So if I click enter here, ask me for validation, then put in the password. Okay, I should have the Hacker City Air. So that's my MacBook Air. I just connected to it. And now I can play around and see the directories. I can do my, obviously I'll be hacker in there. So I'm going to clear the screen. Now I can also do that using the scripts. If I cut the content of enter.sh. Now for this SSH authentication, I'm using -i or tag I to authenticate using public key. So we can see that key here, the private public key pair. So on the server I've got the other pair, then here I'm connecting using this key. So very necessary. This is a much secure approach because again, with the password you can try to brute force for all I care, but with this, unless there is a flaw in the cryptographic algorithm or something, then you can maybe find your way in that system. So great. This, if I just run, it's a basic bash script. You can see the shebang being bash here. If I just clear the screen and run the enter.sh, it's going to also grant me an SSH session into the Oracle Cloud Instance box. So I'm going to exit this. Okay, so great. That's another way. In here, I think I've got another script. Connect to Ubuntu. Okay, I'm not going to connect to that other system. Let's leave that out of this. Okay, great. So let's now we've seen SSH. Let's see SCP. Let's say, for instance, I want to transfer a file from this system. I'm going to go to my desktop in my MacBook. I've got a bunch of files there. Some of them are client stuff, but again, we'll keep it cool. Let's say I want to move this file from here. This is a remote system. I want to move it from this remote system to my system. Now I can use SCP to do that. So we see SCP comes pre-installed, I think, on most Linux SCP, most Linux system, if not all of them. Okay, so I can use SCP to move the file. So let's say I want to copy now SCP is a secure method. Remember, I want to secure copy a file to the temp directory of maybe a remote system or a system that I am on. So let's say I want to copy to my local. I want to copy that file I copied to my local. I can put SCP, then I can put the server IP. I'm just going to run that over here. I'm going to clear the screen. SCP, just to show you what I'm talking about so you understand how it works. So let's say I want to copy that file. I'm just going to do SCP. Then I'll put the user. The IP is 192.168.8.102. Then I'll put the path to the file. Users hacker desktop. Then I think the file I want is this. Now I'm going to put it in this current directory. She's going to ask me for the password for hacker. I'll put that. And that should copy the file. All things being equal, wrong password. It's a very long one. Okay, great. So we can see the file has been copied from the remote system to my local system. Now, this is one way to do it. Let's say you are working as a sysadmin, you're trying to move file from a remote system to your current system, or from your current system to a remote system. You don't have to use any GUI. You can do that all from your command of your terminal. Now, if you want to move from your system to a remote system, I will move this same file. And let's say I rename this file. I'm going to rename the file and move it back to that system. I'm going to move change the name to sniping. Let's call this 21.png, right? Okay, we just renamed the file. So let's say we made some modification and we want to move it back. So scp, we'll give the file name sniping, whatever. Then the server IP, I'll put the user hacker at the server 192.168.8.102. Then where I want to move it to, I want to move it to let's move it to users. That's a MacBook, hacker desktop. So I'm going to press enter on this. It's going to ask me for the password of hacker. Very long password. Then the file has been moved. So if I go in here, let's see if that worked out fine. ls on my desktop, we should see that file, which is what, png21. And where are you? There it is, png21. Okay, so if I look in here, I still have a copy of it here. Remember, I just used SCP to copy a part of it and send it all the way down there. Now, there's another way I can do this. I can use a synchronization. You can use the rsync command, but I'm not going to be showing that. I don't know if it's installed here. rsyn is installed. Okay, I can use the Rsync to Rsync, or I can even use Rsync via SSL encrypted to do the same thing. So I can use Rsync to synchronize a complete directory. Now I cannot use SCP for directory, so I can use the Rsync to synchronize a complete directory from the local to the remote, from the remote to the local as well. As a sysadmin, you really need this command of your sleep to be able to do stuff easy. Moving on, next let's see disk usage. So I'm going to be doing that both on my Mac and also on my Ubuntu Linux here. So if I do df minus h, oh man, my bad, df minus h, so it's going to give me that's df minus h. Also, we can see disk utilization here for both the MacBook and for the Ubuntu. So pretty much we can see the file system, we can see the size they used, available, and also the use percentage, then the mounted on, where it's mounted on. Very important. The same thing we can see right over here. Now I can also show the free. If I want to show free and used inodes, again, you want to know what inode did in details, go and check out another video which I referenced earlier. Okay, if I run the df minus I. Now I'm going specifically for inode. So we can see inodes appearing here. Then the I used, then the I free, then also the I used percentage. Okay. I can also use minus L, attack L, to show partition sizes. So if I do the F disk minus L, it's going to give me all the partition sizes and also their resources available within those partitions. Very important as a sys admin to have this command up your sleeve. I'm going to clear the screen. Again, I can use du. Now the difference between df and du, df is showing you the free or the used space on the mounted file system. Du will be showing you like a disk usage. So if I do du and I put a minus ah here, so this is showing me disk usage, so I can see what is using the disk within this remote Linux system. This is actually the system in the cloud. Oh, okay, no, within this directory. Yeah, these are the content I have within this directory and their usage in terms of size. Okay, so we can also display total disk usage of a current directory, which I think is what I just did. I can do du minus sh. So for the current directory, that's how much space I'm using for my from my disk. Very important command to have, obviously, as a sysadmin. Then finally, no, not finally. This I've used over and over. So more like changing directory, moving around. I'm going to clean up first, sniping, taking stuff off my computer here. Then I'm going to enter.sh. Let me get onto that system. Okay, great. I'm going to clear the screen. In here, I've got some health check script. All right, so let's do the last part. Now, automating this whole stuff, like I did mention, I may not give you full details here. Again, if you want me to do the graph and stuff, leave a comment. I'll be glad to showcase that. Now, I've got a bunch of scripts that I use for automation, but for work, this one is for work. I'll be showing you that because, again, we use Wazoo. Then also, there is the health check.sh. There is also another health check, health monitor here. Okay, I use this script to check for the Linux system performance, usage, and also utilities around it. So if I cut the content of the first one, health check.sh, just so you see it's a bash script, got a bunch of lines in there. I may not be able to walk you through every bit of them again, but again, we can say it's a bash script. Quickly, it's going to start checking maybe from scratch. We're going to go down here, check the mounts, check the FS usage, I usage for nodes, then also host name, um, print out the content of architecture, the OS release. There's a bunch of stuff. All those commands put in one script. So if I run this script, just to show you what it looks like, it's going to run and it's going to give me this nice display. So I can see here quickly, I can run the script. I can see the host name, I can see the operating system, the kernel version, architecture, system uptime, current time date for the system, and I can start looking into the file system. I can also look at the disk usage or utilization in terms of percentages. Then I can check if there are zombie processes. I can also check the inode usage, very important. Then also I can check the swap details, very important. Then current processor utilization, very critical as well. Then I can go ahead and check when it was last rebooted, very important. I can as well check the most through recent shutdown events. Then as well check the 5 most memory utilization. If I find something strange, I can quickly shut it down or kill it. I can also check CPU utilization. If something strange, I can kill it really fast. Now, why do you need something like this without having to run one on your own? It's because of the whole concept of automation, right? You don't want to run 1,000 commands while you can just run a script that will do 1,000 things in a split second, and that whole threading concept. Then I can take this result and either use cron to probably run this script maybe every 12 hours and collect this data, send it over to an offsite location or maybe to another resource somewhere where I've got maybe Grafana or maybe to a SIEM solution where I can be seeing the behavior of that system to keep track. Monitor how the system is behaved. So this is one of which. I've got the other one over here, which I'm going to run as well, cat monitor.sh. So this is also another bash script, similar things, but again, I'm going to run this uh, just to show you. This is a bit different. I'll give it some colors. Again, pretty much fast. We can see it's connected to the internet. That's first script will not show you this. It's also giving us the name, giving us details, and gives us IP, but the internal and external IP, very important. Then also gives us the server names, gives us the logged in time, the memory utilization, the swap, the disk utilization, the average load, and also the maximum uptime for the system. Very important metrics to ensure your server is healthy and is running fine. All right, that will be all for this series. Now we've got 4 videos in this, so I hope you love the content. If you want to see more in terms of automation, how to take this data and pass over to maybe a SIM solution, I've got Wiser installed on my home network. I'll be glad to show you how that stuff works. Then also, I think after these, I will be recording videos on Burpsuit, using Burpsuit Pro to actually do a pen test. I'll be showing you some fun stuff. I hope you love the content. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification button to receive more cool stuff from us. And I'll see you in the next recording. Have a good day. Peace. Bye.